Alright guys, today we're going to be working on my 2016 Ram 3500. It has the 6.7 high output and the Ison transmission in it. It is a 373 rear end, 4x4, Laramie, all the fun stuff. Anyways, we're going to be doing a rear differential service and a coolant service. I'm going to run some water wetters in it this time and see if we can't get some extra cooling out of it. When I'm towing with this thing, I'm seeing temperatures go up to about 240. I'd like to get it down from there. I do downshift back out when it gets that high, but I don't want it to get up that high. The rear differential, this will be my third time servicing it. The truck has 44,000 miles on it. I know that seems a little insane. However, when I'm towing for a long time at high speeds and I go to get off the freeway and turn the wheel, it chatters like crazy. The whole truck shudders and it's not good. What I found the cause for the shudder to be is the limited slip inside this thing. So it's getting hot and it's causing the clutch plates to chatter in there. So I'm going to do another gear oil flush on it. The last time I did it, it worked great. But after towing to Sand Hollow, I had a Tacoma and the Jeep on the back of the gooseneck trailer, so we were somewhere around 22,000 trailer pounds. We're going to try and do the BG fluid. I have 3 things of limited slip, not just the 2, so we're going to see how it does with 2. I'll bring a third one with me, and if I need to drop it in on the trip, I will. For coolant, we will be running genuine Motorcraft diesel coolant with water wetters. Everything that I've looked up, and when I called Redline to see how the water wetters was, it says that it's cross compatible with the oat formula, which this is, so we shouldn't have any issues. So I'm going to take you along on this one, and we'll figure all that out. And then after I'm done with the truck, I have to clean up the shithole that is the garage that got abused over the past couple weeks. This is going to be coming out in another video about the Toyota. I reorganized all my tools. These here are still the special project. That's coming up quick. Real quick. Anyways, I'm going to get going on this thing. Take you guys along for the journey. Hopefully everything's smooth sailing, and we'll give you some pointers if there are any, which it's pretty basic stuff, so probably not. Alright, so as you can see, we are draining. What I did, I undid the 13mm bolt that goes right there. I pushed the power steering reservoir down and then flipped it onto the other side of the hose and pushed it in here and then lifted it. And then I was able to get in right down there. The peacock's at the bottom of the radiator. So how this works, you can almost get a 16 on it, but it's got little teeth on it. These little ears right here. So you can't get it all the way on, but you don't need a lot of pressure. It turns about 90 degrees and then you pull it out. It is a little stiff in there. Do not spray it with penetrating lube or anything like that. Just kind of keep twisting it to the left as you're pulling it out. I used a little pair of Nip-X and it came right out. So I'm going to leave that, let that drain down there and get out however much it's going to get out of it. At one point here, I will pull the cap off of the reservoir, or off the degas bottle as they call it, and then it'll flow way faster, but I want to kind of keep it in a controlled manner for now. So while that's draining, we are going to go back and we're going to tear apart the ass end on this bitch. Alright, so there's no drain plug on these. What you got to do is you just pull the cover off. There is a resealable gasket behind it. So we're going to get this thing popped off right now. Start with these guys. So as you see there, it tried to open, but I left this top one in just loose. So it just kind of moves around now. Alright, so now that that's loose and mostly emptied, I'm trying to get it in the gasket without making too much of a mess. And there she is. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this over to the counter. We're going to inspect this while this drip dries, and then we'll check this for contamination, ring gear wear, make sure everything's doing okay in there. Alright guys, so here's the diff cover. There is a little more black spot in here than what I would like to see. It's pretty burnt. I mean, this gear oil has 20,000 on it. There's a little bit of schmeggies on this magnet. You're always going to have some. That's a little bit more, so I can tell that I'm doing damage to the clutches with it chattering, which is why we're doing this. That'll never be squeaky clean. I mean, a little bit on this thing. You can kind of see the buildup on the tip of my finger there. That's semi-heavy. If this fucking thing would focus. It's semi-heavy, but it's going to be what it is. We'll put some more limited slip additive in it for sure, and then kind of go from there. But this is why we're doing this, is to prevent any further incidents. I looked at the ring and pinion. The ring gear itself, coast and drive side, are, I mean, you can't draw a better pattern. They're all the way in depth wise. Got just a hair at the end. They're using the entire tooth. So same thing with the pinion. The pinion drive depth is, I mean, it was set up good. I've heard of these rear ends failing prematurely, which is part of the reason I'm so paranoid with this, but it seems to be doing okay. So we're going to get this all cleaned up. Again, not using a rag inside here. I just used it on this little plug. I don't want to put the rag in there and get all the fuzzies on this. So I'm going to take it over, use our new favorite cleaner, which here, S&B air filter cleaner. Nice, nice. But yeah, let's go get this thing cleaned up, get it assembled again. I'll show you guys the ring and pinion, and we'll fill it up with some BG fluid. Alright guys, so you can see it uses up from side to side on this tooth, every bit of it. On the back side, every single tooth right to the edge. Wear pattern is perfect, depth is amazing. The rear, for what you can see, it's perfect as well, both coast side and drive side. So I don't see it very often where they're set up real nice from the factory, but I'm happy with this one for sure. So let's get some wipey action on the whole mating surface here, and then we got our diff cover all nice and cleaned up. Look at that beauty. Yeah, gasket's all clean, so we'll get the mating surface cleaned up and get her thrown together, get some oil in her, and this job's done. Alright guys, here's a little trick. I have a tube right here that goes down into the bottle, goes through the cap. I just use an awl to poke a hole in it. Then I poke a second hole right here. I'm going to take my air nozzle, push it into said hole, and then just use light pressure and fill the diff. You don't want to use pressure to the point where it like blows up the entire thing, but you definitely want to use pressure. Like the bottle will expand, it gets hard, and you can watch on the side of the bottle, the level will go down. This is smaller than what I normally use. I don't know where my bigger one is. All this is a little piece of brake line, so it's not like I lost an expensive tool, but it's worth its weight to me. Well, that's all done. I did switch over to a caulking gun style sucky thing. The little hose that I had here was just taking entirely too long. I gotta get another one. But yeah, the differential is now all done. I went till I saw it puking out. I waited a little bit. I put about another half a quart in there and waited again, and it didn't dribble out anymore. I'm right at the level, so I'm good with that. So we'll see how it runs on the next drive. The end of this month is when we're taking the trip, so I'll let you guys know, and I'm going to take you along and show you some temperatures and all that fun stuff so you guys can see what my truck does and compare it to yours. And yeah, let me know if you guys want to see anything else on this thing. Until then, let's go throw some coolant back in this and I'll show you another cool tool. Alright guys, so I got the 2 bottles of the water wetter already in here. See, nice and empty. I put those in first. Now I'm going to use my coolant evacuator. For those that don't know what this does, this here evacuates all the air. So when I close this valve, pull the trigger, it creates suction right here. So this is going to suck all the air out. The radiator hoses will collapse and everything. And then this tube here, bloop, goes right into the coolant. I got 4 gallons mixed up in that. So let's get going here. Alright, so this one here has a, I gotta get a plug on that. The overflow hole on the bottom needs to be plugged up so we can keep going here. So that noise at the end means that it's reached the end of its suction. It is sitting at negative 27. It's about as low as most go. Now we just flip that hose. You can see the things going in. I can't get you a vision of the needle, but you can watch that hose. You'll see this hose right here is going to expand. It's going to take a lot of coolant. And just like that, we're way overfilled. I'm going to suck it down to the limit, but this here ensures that we don't have any air pockets in the system. I don't have anything to worry about. You could see this hose here. This hose came back to life here. It was squished right down. See the level. Every time I squeeze that hose, that coolant bottle's bouncing. There is no air in this system. I can jump in this truck now and drive it anywhere I want to go and not worry about it. So I'm going to get that sucked out. And down here, to plug it, this is a, I believe this is off a 6.6 Duramax. I believe this is the injector tip protector, or the top part of it. I don't know. Something with an injector. One of the diesels. But yeah, I'm going to get it sucked down and I'll show you guys the level. Get it running, get it outside, and we will rinse it all down, and it'll be done, ready for Utah. Alright guys, here she is. Running, cleaned off. Rinsed everything real good. Make sure it was squeaky clean. I don't know if you guys can hear that rattling. This truck has made that since day one. It's not an AC compressor, it's not an idler pulley, it's not an EGR thing. I hear it up in this area. I can't get it to do it long enough for me to pinpoint where it is. I'm not overly concerned with it. Like I said, it's been doing it since day one, but if anybody else's truck does it, let me know. Right now, I think I'm going to make her sexy. Bathe her down and call her done. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you guys want to see any more content on this bad boy, like I said, I got one coming up when we're towing the gooseneck. Be around 21,000, 23,000, somewhere in there, pounds, and I'll show you guys how she does on the hills and all that stuff. There is one hill coming back from Moab. My buddy's got an F-150 and he's usually pulling his Jeep, and he can actually pass me on said hill just because of the altitude and the heat and everything else. So it's kind of frustrating. You'll usually see him drive by as I'm hitting the steering wheel trying to make it go faster. But overall, this thing is a tow beast. I'm sure most modern diesel trucks are at this point, but anything you guys want to see, let me know in the comments. Love to show you more about it, just don't know what y'all want to see that's not out there. So we're going to also be reviewing these Cooper tires that we just put on. got here. We got the Cooper Discovery AT3 LTs. I'm having a lot of issues with edge wear on tires, so I just did the updated specifications that I found on the old interwebs, because I couldn't get this thing to not wear tires. So when I go to the experts on the internet, some guy in his mom's basement wrote up some specifications and I'm trying them out. So again, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what we can show you and what you're interested in. Later.